Before we begin today's lecture, I have 3 questions to ask you. 1. Should abusing freedom of speech be allowed? 2. If you find out that a trusted authority has been giving you false information, what would you do? 3. Which of the following is more important? Truth or freedom of speech? Now, if you have answered these questions, remember them, because you can submit them in the comments section. This has gone far enough. We need to put a stop to the lies and spread the truth. 2 people, Vinhetiero and Rousseau, have been submitting false information about the top 10 most arduous and strenuous pieces for the piano. Because of these videos, over 70% of the world's classical musicians are brainwashed by this balderdash. This is not at all subjective. Look at these scores. Which of these pieces is more difficult? Well, have you guessed at all? Obviously, it should be Sarabji Opus Archimagicum, right? We need to put an end to these lies and spread the truth. Truth will triumph. Why is defending the truth imperative? Well, let's define truth first. Truth is the fact of being in accordance with reality. We all want to know the truth, don't we? We don't want to preposterous lies brainwashing our minds. The thing is, these 2 videos are the instigation to the brainwashing. If we don't remove them quickly, soon the percentage mark will increase. I have met tons of people like these. I have often debated with them and expostulated with some who were intransigent to the lies. Those people deserve the denomination of bigots. Bigots that are intransigent to the lies, to be exact. We need to put a stop to the lies, and fast. The following reasons are plausible enough to convince Rousseau and Vinhetiero to remove these videos that are spreading the lies. First, these 2 are abusing freedom of speech. Almost not a single person was disputing over them in both videos in the comments section. Everyone's like, incredible skill on these extremely difficult pieces, etc. These people are blinded from the truth and making a big deal of these pieces. I'm not saying that Vinhetiero isn't talented. Sure, he plays well, but he lacks musicality, and his lists are totally balderdash. In addition, Vinhetiero doesn't even know what he's talking about. In the comment section, I saw one of his replies to a guy who disagreed with his list. Unfortunately, I do not have the same exact comment because there are 25,619 comments, but it said something like this. I do not know those pieces, so they are not on the list. Is that implausible or what? That just proves his ignorance. He didn't even do research before he made this list. Well, that wouldn't help much either, cause most of the top websites on Google are also spreading lies. Should stop those too, by the way. They think those pieces are the most difficult without even knowing that that's false and spreading it to others. Moreover, these people just want their views. Vinhetiero top 10 is his 8th most popular video, reaching 16,568,073 views, and Rousseau's his 7th, reaching 37,437,084 views. Rousseau doesn't admit that his list was balderdash. He says this as an explanation. To my dedicated subscribers, this video is a little experiment. Recently, YouTube has been pushing down classical music, and his format seems to be what is being recommended by the algorithm. Although recognizable, the pieces in this compilation aren't actually the most difficult. But I've made another top 10 list for you that contains some pieces which would be impossible to have on YouTube in video form. Yeah, sure. Only an experiment. Only an experiment to test people's cognizance of the truth. If it was an experiment, they shouldn't just put random balderdash in this video. And the guy puts a bit more legitimate list in the same comment. Rousseau, you're totally forgetting something. Don't forget that a majority of the viewers don't even look at the comment section. The fact should be obvious. He doesn't even care about the lies in the list. Even the list in the comment section isn't legitimate enough. The guy is only looking at 19th century classical music. But what about 20th century? The pieces composed in that era is true arduity. So to answer the first question, should abusing freedom of speech be allowed, it is indubitable that it should not be allowed. Second, they are abusing their authority over the classical musicians. Rousseau has 4.64 million subscribers and Vinhetiero 6.97 million. All those people who concur with these two justify their list by saying, oh, people would agree with him, so why shouldn't I agree with them? That is absolutely fallacious and implausible reasoning. Let me introduce to you a fallacy I learned 2 years ago known as ad populum, which means in Latin, to the people. The fallacy is committed when someone proves their fact by saying others do so too. For example, if someone sees others commit suicide, he says, well, they do, so what's wrong with committing suicide? Another fallacy they are committing is called appeal to faulty authority. You should be able to guess what it is by the literal meaning, which is following the wrong authority. This fallacy is often committed in propaganda. For example, I often see an ad promoting an app called Lingo Ace, and they hire Jeremy Lin, the basketball star, to convince people to buy the app, probably just because he's Asian. The problem is he's a basketball star, not a Chinese expert. So why should I get a basketball expert to tell us to learn Chinese by this app? It's a total red herring. Anyways, back to the main point. These people are totally blind of the fact that Vinhetiero and Rousseau are blind of the truth themselves. The world is full of faulty authorities. It's best to explore and gain knowledge yourself or learn from authorities that know the truth. So to answer the second question, if you find out that a trusted authority has been giving you false information, what would you do? I would suggest you to never listen to what that authority says unless you are 100% sure that he's speaking the truth, not spreading lies. Of course, you can always debate with the authority and maybe even convince him or her to believe the truth. Lastly, truth needs to be spread. The world is full of lies now. People spread the fact that people came from monkeys, but they don't even have valid proof for that fact. I can start a total new debate on why evolution is balderdash, but we need to stick to the point. There is already enough balderdash in the world, all because people do not know how to not abuse freedom of speech. People do not have solid, tenable, and plausible reasoning for their beliefs, and they just spread without even knowing it's preposterous. Which is more important? Freedom of speech or truth? Which is more important? Freedom of speech or justice? Which is more important? Freedom of speech or wisdom? So, to end this lecture, I send you this message, Vinhetiero and Rousseau. This decision is absolutely imperative. It will erase some balderdash in the world at least. The decision is yours. Pull down the lies and show that you care about your fans, or keep your popularity and be egotistical. I'm Joshua Chen, owner of Operation Safe Classical Music. Knowing the truth, defending the truth, and spreading the truth. Join me to put an end to the balderdash.